I think that from all of us, our heart and our prayers are with the families of those that lost their lives on the 20th. This is serious. And especially as our nation's been horrified by the plumes of oil that devastated marine life, local seafood industries, vulnerable wetlands in the waters of the Gulf of Mexico, we watched the company most responsible for the spill, British Petroleum, understate the spill's extent and impact while trying to escape blame for the Earth's greatest environmental catastrophe since Chernobyl. Although the sheer volume of oil has stunned most Americans, I'm finding it extremely hard to believe that BP executives share our shock. Over the past decade, BP has grown to become the largest company in America, systematically undercutting its competitors on safety issues. In 2005, BP's Texas refinery exploded, killing 15 workers, injuring 150 more, and we've heard this time and time again. Shortly after, the plant had cut maintenance by spending less than, or cutting their expenditures in safety by 41%. The next year, a poorly maintained pipeline rupture spilled 200,000 gallons of crude over the North Slope of Alaska. BP has claimed time and again that it's learned from its mistakes. However, it continues to cut back on employee and environmental safety costs to increase its profits. Over the past 3 years, 97% of all the flagrant violations in the refining industry found by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration were located at just 2 BP refineries, one of which was the very refinery in Texas City that exploded in 2005. BP citations were classified by OSHA as egregiously willful, meaning that they reflect violations of a rule designed to prevent catastrophic events at refineries. According to Risk Metrics, a consulting firm that scores companies' commitment to health, environment, and safety, BP is among the worst performing major oil companies in these areas. Last month, we witnessed another explosion connected to BP at Deepwater Horizon that killed 11 more people and spread a devastating slick across the Gulf. Perhaps we shouldn't be surprised to hear that the Associated Press has reported that a Transocean employee on the rig prior to the disaster stated that he had overheard, and I quote, overheard upper management saying that BP was taking shortcuts by displacing the well with salt water instead of mud without sealing the well with cement plugs. That's why it blew, unquote. Once again, BP abandoned its workers for the sake of a little more profit. Mr. McKay, the record-breaking fines that have been levied against BP over recent years, all finding that 97% of egregious willful violations over the last 3 years, one of which was the Texas City refinery that exploded in 2005, undermines your company's claims of shock and devastation and a willingness to correct these problems. BP's record appears to indicate that the company has determined that an occasional fatal accident is no more than a cost of doing business. How can any company possibly correct problems with its corporate culture that are so deeply interwoven into your business model that even the loss of life has not forced a change? And at what point will jeopardizing the health and safety of your workers and the environment no longer make sense to your bottom line?
There have been massive changes made to the company. I went through a few earlier, just to mention in terms of safety and operational integrity spending. That's been rising. It's been we spent over $1 billion in Alaska. We've spent over $1 billion in Texas City rebuilding. More importantly than that is the agenda that has been created by our new CEO after those events. That is clear top to bottom. That's our agenda. That is our priority. I cannot say the causes of this incident, but what I can tell you, we've got 23,000 employees in this country working to be the safest company in this industry, and we have made massive changes. As I said, progress is being made. It will never be finished. I believe this company is has made major steps at its core since those incidents.
And Mr. McKay, let me read a couple quotes that came back from 2007 by the former CEO. BP gets it, I get it too. I recognize the need for improvement. After the 11-member panel that BP asked to study its U.S. refineries at the urging of the U.S. Chemical Safety Board made 10 recommendations, what they found as far as looking even at Texas was the panel said BP had not learned from a long string of past accidents, had a false sense of confidence about safety, did not always ensure that adequate resources were effectively allocated to support or sustain a high level of safety in the industrial process, and rotated refinery chiefs too quickly. Again, a lot of what we're hearing now is what's been repeated after 2005. And I know we all want to get to the bottom of this. We all want to make sure this does not happen again. But we have to make sure that we are making the investments and that people are held accountable to making sure that they're putting the lives of people first and the safety of others before them. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You'll back my time.
Time expired.